Your attention, masters, mistresses. All systems functional for the Everything Geek podcast.
Hey, this is Rich McDonald, and I play Commander David Mason on Call of Duty Black Ops 2. And you're listening to Everything Geek podcast.
Hey, it's James Arnold Taylor, the voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi and Master Plo Koon in Star Wars The Clone Wars, and you're listening to Everything Geek, the podcast.
Hey, it's Leif Gamfert. I played Uncle Ben's killer in The Amazing Spider-Man, and you're listening to the Everything Geek podcast.
Hello, I'm Simon Fisherbecker. You probably know me better as Dorian Moldovar from Doctor Who, or the Fat Friar from Harry Potter. And this is Everything Geek podcast.
Face it, Tiger. You just hit the jackpot with the Everything Geek podcast.
You're listening to the Everything Geek podcast, bringing you interviews from your favorite films and TV shows every week, and all of the latest news. Here's your host, Ruari Williamson.
Hello everyone, this is Ruari Williamson of the Everything Geek podcast, presenting my interview from Dublin Comic Con with actor Tom Wlaschiha, best known for playing Jaqen H'ghar in Game of Thrones, Sebastian Berger in Crossing Lines, Lieutenant Koenig in the Sarah Jane Adventures, Harald Ertl in Rush, Prince Albert in Mr. Turner, Stefan Hein in No One Sleeps, Albrecht in Resistance, Hanzo in Krabat and the Legend of the Satanic Mill, a soldier in Enemy at the Gates, and a communications officer in Valkyrie. Enjoy.
Hello everyone, it's Ruari Williamson of the Everything Geek podcast. I'm here at Dublin Comic Con with actor Tom Wlaschiha. How are you today, sir?
I'm very well, thank you.
Have you enjoyed the event? I know it's pretty much over, but have you enjoyed your time here at Dublin Comic Con?
Well, definitely. It's always great to be in Dublin. It's a great city, and I've been here quite a few times. First time at Comic Con, though. And yeah, it's been great. I mean, it's always cool to get in touch with the fans, because as an actor in television and films, normally you don't get that much feedback. So it's great to meet fans and actually talk to them.
Definitely. Now, for some of our listeners who might not be as familiar with your background, can you tell us how you got into acting?
Well, yeah, I grew up in East Germany, and I somehow, the idea to become an actor crossed my mind when I was 15, 16 years old, and I also saw it as a way to leave the country, because we were not allowed to travel, and we were kind of locked in East Germany, and becoming an actor, I thought it would give me an opportunity to go to different countries with work, and that was one of my reasons, but also because I just like acting.
It's a very good answer. Now, in Season 2 of Game of Thrones, of course, you played Jaqen, that time as a guest star on the show, before coming back from Season 5 onwards, in which you're a main character, now a starring cast member. Did you ever expect that you would be asked back, and what was it like to receive the call when they told you they wanted you back on the show?
Well, the producers, David Benioff and Dan Weiss, told me at the end of Season 2 that they maybe had an idea how to bring me back, but they didn't know at that point if it would work out. So I was kind of left in the limbo. I didn't know if the call would come. So I was extremely happy when they called me back for Season 5.
That's great. Now, there's a fan theory out there that your faceless man character, who has the image of Jaqen, of course, that who currently mentors Arya Stark, of course, that he is in fact Syrio Forel, Arya's mentor in the first season. Have you heard that theory? What do you think of it?
Yeah, I totally heard that theory, and I think it's a valid theory. I just don't know if it's true. I mean, personally, I've never really thought about that in depth, because it has no impact on my performance. I think it's an interesting theory, though, but we'll see. Maybe it's going to be disclosed, the secret, at some point.
And of course, you're not being coy about it all. You genuinely don't know, so it's something we'll have to wait and see play out on the future of the show.
Yeah, I mean, a man knows nothing. I mean, the only people who know are George R. R. Martin and the two producers. And they're not telling us anything.
So what are the biggest challenges of working on a show like Game of Thrones, where it's so big? What are the big challenges that happen?
I'd say, one of the biggest challenges is that you have to be available. I mean, it's we're pretty much it's an intense schedule for every season. I mean, with shooting going on in different locations simultaneously, so that schedule always changes. So you basically are on permanent standby, and you never really know when are you filming next. So that's a bit of a drag sometimes, but it's normal with a show like this. As for my character, the biggest challenge I found was to portray him in a way that his special way of speaking, of his referring to himself in the third person, to make that come across natural, because I thought it could easily be a bit mannered, and so I was trying to do this as natural as possible.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I watch other shows as well, which have characters speaking in the third person, not just Jaqen in Game of Thrones, but like it's always so interesting because it's so different, but you always remember those characters who speak in the third person. So it's just really interesting, and feeling that to the character, of course, as well. And finally, do you have any upcoming acting roles or anything else coming up that you would like to talk about?
Sure. I'm not sure if the listeners will ever see any of the projects, because I did a couple of German movies in German the last months. One was a road movie / thriller it's called Berlin Falling. It was a really great project. It's going to come out at the end of the year, and it's also going to be on Sky. So I think there's a chance that audience in Ireland, UK are going to be able to see it. And now I just finished filming a comedy in Germany, and I'll see what the future brings.
Well, thank you very much for talking to us.
Make sure to check out our podcast links. Check out our website.everythinggeekpodcast.com/EGP. Check out our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/everythinggeekpodcast. Check out our YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/user/everythinggeekcast. Check us out on Twitter, twitter.com/everythinggeekp. Check us out on Instagram, instagram.com/official-everythinggeekpodcast. Check out our Mixcloud profile, www.mixcloud.com/everythinggeekpodcast. Email us at the following email, everythinggeekpodcast@gmail.com. Check out our companion podcast, Everything Geek Comiccast, www.facebook.com/everythinggeekcomiccast. Make sure to check out the hosts' YouTube channels. Mine is www.youtube.com/user/Separatist Check out Tom Wlaschiha's website, www.tomwlaschiha.de, and check out Channel 138 where we broadcast live from, www.channel138.com. So geeks out, everyone.
Because Pyatt never actually got his kit off. Good thing too. But the makeup itself was very well done and very carefully done, and gave me a horrible mouth, of course.
I think, well, all my filming jobs have just been so much fun. I mean, definitely Game of Thrones has helped my career the most, and it was so much fun and amazing to work on as well. But also